as well, we're going to go over chords, right? Just briefly here, just so you remember the idea of them, alright? So if you're in E minor, you know that that's the Aeolian mode. But the minor itself isn't a tonal scale, as in it's not the parent scale, that's a mode. That minor is a mode. So if you want to remember where the major is in relation to this, the actual parent scale or the tonal scale, just remember that it's only a step and a half away, or three half steps away, ascending. So 3 frets away. If you were to do that, it's on your pinky finger, like that. And obviously the opposite is true now. If you're in major and you want to know where minor is, just start it on your pinky finger and remember that it's where your index finger would be. So it's a step and a half below, or 3 half steps below. And this is very important for a couple of reasons. If you ever want to do a harmony, like I said, you can, if someone is playing a major kind of 7th chord or something like that, you can do a harmony and it will sound really nice as well with them if you're doing, and they're doing. It just gels very nicely together. So just remember that the relevant major always has a relevant minor and vice versa, and that's the easy way of remembering that it's just a step and a half away. So if you're starting the minor, do it with your index finger and it's on your baby finger. If you want to know where the major is, just start it with your pinky finger and it's on your index finger. And also, if you want the lower major, it's basically 4 frets below on the next string, or the string below. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a string down. Or it's 2 frets below and a string down. So, because you know that's the octave there. And then the same for the minor. If you're on the major, it's 2 frets below on the string down. Or if you want to do it, it's 3 frets below. Or sorry, it's 4 frets below down there. So say 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the G string. Or if it's on the same string, it's down here, 3 frets below. So that's handy to remember. We're going to do a really quick chord sequence now, alright? So, if we're playing with a guitar player and he's playing an E minor chord, we don't always have to play the E. So say it's going. So that all that is we don't have to do roots there. We don't even have to just do one note. Like, we can do one note, we can do chords. If going down in chords, we can go down in on 7s. Or we can now in that sequence there, I was starting on the root every time, but you don't have to start on the root. So if they're doing, we can go. We can start on the chords, we can start on the 7s, whatever we want to do. Now, I've said this to you a few times now, knowing the actual names of these modes isn't super important, but I would still recommend doing it. So just use acronyms if you have to, or a mnemonic. So say we're in the C major. Just remember that each note is another mode. And that the starting one is Ionian. So the C major scale is an Ionian mode. So I don't Dorian, punch, Phrygian, like Lydian, Mohammed, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Lee, Locrian, or I don't play like Mr. Angus lads. I don't play like Mr. Angus lads. Lads, Angus, Mr. Yeah, it gets confusing when you try to do it backwards. So, with that in mind, we're in E minor now. Now, this is why I like to practice things like this in different keys, because you can't always revert back to C. You have to think about what is the major to E minor. And as I went over, it's G, because if you start on your root with the index and go 3 frets down, it's always going to be on your pinky, so it's a G. Or if you want to go to it on the lower note, it's 4 frets down and 1 string down. Whatever way you're feeling, probably better to go to that G than to go to that G. So that's a minor. Then you're moving down through the modes here. So the guitar player will probably be playing that. Then a Mixolydian, which is essentially it's a major type chord. So the Mixolydian is a major type chord. The only difference between the Mixolydian and the major scale is that it has a minor 7th or a flat 7th. So the 7th isn't the same. So, for example, a D major and then a D Mixolydian. Now, and if the guitar player is going down to a C chord here, and his starting chord was his key here is E minor, then the C is a major chord as well, because it's Lydian. And the only difference between Lydian and a standard major scale, if I was to play C major, is that C Lydian has an augmented fourth. And an augmented fourth is essentially a half step higher than the standard major. So this is your standard major, and then this is your augmented fourth, or the Lydian mode. So if they're playing a major chord, we can pretty much do like a major chord. We do a major 7, because it's the same type of 7. If you're doing the Mixolydian, you have to do a minor 7. You can't do the standard major. You have to think it's a dominant chord. And then finally, the last chord of this sequence here is a B, and that's the Phrygian, B Phrygian. And that's sort of like a minor scale, but the main difference between Phrygian and say your standard, this is your standard B minor. B Phrygian has a diminished second, or a flat second. So that's where that comes in there. And since we're in E minor, we're in G major. So that's where that's all coming together. That's why it's really helpful. It's really helpful to actually know exactly what modes and exactly what chord types are coming up. Because if you're just watching the guitar player and you know that it's an E or D, you can get by. You can be like, oh, it's an E chord, I play an E. It's a D chord, I play a D. It's a C chord, I play a C. That's fine for a lot of music, and a lot of instances you're just going to be doing that. But it's helpful to know exactly what chords you're playing as well. So if you want to skip backwards and forwards between these two little kind of mini parts, or just skip between them. Essentially, it'll make it easier for you. Sorry I didn't make 2 videos there. I just thought it would be better to just have it as one. So it's quite a long video, so just take your time with it. Alright, I'll leave it at that for now.